Oh man, look at this. We are live. I didn't realize that my countdown timer was counted down and it's time to be live. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, friends. Hope you're doing great today. Happy Tuesday. Little less of a bruise day because the markets are pumping. Got a video about Crow coming out later today. Big partnership with the Trump family business. Not going to talk too much about that in this video because I got a recorded video for you about Crow and that partnership later on. Today, we're going to talk in this live stream about the news of the head of the SEC, Paul Atkins. He's in power, people, and he is bullish on crypto. Are you guys? Welcome back. Welcome back. I've got a question in the poll for the day to kick this thing off. It says, is this a temporary pump? No, we hold 90K this week. Or yes, we are going lower. 93% of you say we hold 90K. Let's see. Hold on, guys. Okay. We're going to talk about this. We will take down the tunes. Yes. Let's get the real vibe going. Tunes down, background music. How's that? Welcome back. How's it going, Marty? How's it going, Rogue? Asking, is Powell really a major loser? That's a good question. I don't know, but the president said so. And the S&P 500 came down nice 3% on that news, which was wild. But then Bitcoin started ripping, and it went from, 84K before Easter to 91.5 earlier today, and found a little bit of resistance at 91.5 now. We're above the 88.5 region because we have a new head of the SEC. He's in power now, and the guy likes crypto. Appointed by the president, Paul Atkins is now taking over as head of the SEC, and you gotta wonder, are we gonna keep pumping on this news, or is this a temporary pump? You got to wonder, and I want to know what you guys think. I think, unfortunately, guys, I think it's still a temporary pump. I did talk about the possibility of a news event driving us past the 88.5 level. We're going to look at some of the levels we've been talking about for Bitcoin and seeing what's real, what's relevant, what's wrong, and what comes next. And we're going to talk about some of the major news stories happening in the crypto space. We are headed in the right direction for this asset class still. And this pump is beautiful today. Let's look at the charts. Welcome back, John, Keith, Jimmy the Lip, Ultra Justin. We got Eric in the chat, Rogue, VDG, and everybody else. Welcome back. Tap the like button on your way in, guys. If you're watching on X, let's get a repost, a share to all those other folks out there. What is Trump Media? It's the biggest, most beautiful company there's ever been. Nobody's ever had a more successful business, is what Trump would say. But I think it's just his Truth Social company. It's a business. It's a big business. And they're dabbling with ETFs now and partnerships with crypto.com, which is kind of wild. And so I got a video coming out later today about that in detail. So check that out. Check that out later on. But today, fart coins on the moon. Bonk's up 13%. Oh boy. Look out. Kind of crazy that fart coin keeps going to the top of the charts. Can't believe I'm saying the word fart so much on this very professional channel filled with not financial advice, which I want to remind you guys of. I'm a crypto bull, been in the crypto market since 2016, made a lot of money, lost a lot of money, more bull markets that I've gotten into, just the better that we've done. Me and Black Sea both. And you know, guys, there's a learning curve to this stuff. At the end of the day, I want to remind you guys this. You can never go wrong with Bitcoin, okay? But I do believe there's an altcoin season coming. And I don't quite believe that the head of the SEC being Paul Atkins is the catalyst. However, it is another helpful thing that is going to continue to drive mainstream crypto adoption, not only in the US, but across the globe. Because as the United States of America continues to embrace crypto, other countries will have to pay attention. You know, it used to just be a couple internet nerds like me and my buddies, and then even more nerdy people that were in ahead of 2016 were buying this stuff from their dial-up internet, right? But then, did we have dial-up internet still in 2008, 2009? I think we did. But then we got to the point where companies are putting this stuff on their balance sheets. Countries are buying. It's a beautiful time for crypto, folks. Do not be mistaken. I do think that Trump is probably the CEO. We should look that up. I don't know. We'll look that up. We'll take a peek at that. But certainly an interesting story, right? Big gainers today. Farcoin and Bonk leading the charts. But don't be mistaken. These things are still way down from their highs, as is like Stacks and a lot of these coins. Cronos still a 10x away from previous total market cap highs for Cronos. Dogecoin's getting a nice little pump today. Swee's getting a nice little pump today. Got a lot of things pumping today. Official Trump coin up a little bit today as well. Still under $10. That's got a long way to come back. And it might. I don't know. Something about that presidential meme coin might still have some hope there. What are our big losers for the day? Not a ton. The AI coins that were kind of pumping lately are just retracing a little bit. FET, Artificial Superintelligence Alliance, still up 30% on the week, down a little bit today. You know, again, buy low, sell high. When you see a coin like this pumping, you don't want to buy it after the 30% pump over the last 7 days while the general market's weak. You would rather be taking profit on the outlier that was more bullish. Especially if you're trading it. And if you guys want to do some trading, you can sign up for Blowfin using our link in the description, in the comments down below. But let's look at some of this, guys. Liquidations. Do we have any here? Let's check it out. A lot of shorts got squeezed here because nobody knew that Paul Atkins was going to be sworn in overnight. Now, I've been talking about short positions. How would those have played out? Well, let's look at it, guys. Yesterday, during our live stream, we watched us wick up to 88.9. I said we could come down to like 85, 86 something. Well, we didn't even get that low, guys. We saw some strength. We got down to like 87, and we are coming back up. And then, boom, we blasted through 88.5, which was our key resistance. Shot up to 91.5, and now here we are sitting at 90. I'd still be expecting a bullish retest off 88, but I will tell you this, guys. We do have a chance to hold above 88 now that we've blasted above it, because 88 is certainly resistance that could turn to support here, and we might be able to linger towards the high end of $80,000 for a while. Maybe we do float above 90K. I want to know what you guys think in the comments. I did put out a poll. 81% of you guys think that we're going to hold 90K this week. Let's see if we even hold 90K today. What I've seen happen with some of these news stories about anything revolving like the president, the government, and like the SEC roles, Gary Gensler stepping down, that was a big pump. After the pump, we kind of tumbled back down, and today was a short squeeze. This is probably going to result in a long squeeze if I had to guess. We need broader catalysts, guys, to help drive the overall market higher. Scossum in the chat says, we made it, boys. 1 year as a Crypto Report supporter. Glad to have you as a part of the Crypto Report team, Scossum. I appreciate you. If any of you guys want to become members as well and support this channel, get access to our private Discord, you can become a member using our link in the description down below. And just go to our channel. You can check it out there. There's a video about members and what you got there. So I'd like to hold 90K. Let's see what happens. Some people are saying that Bitcoin is decoupling from the stock market. Now, as much as I'd like to see that happen, as much as I think that will happen at some point in the future, 2 days worth of a pump of Bitcoin versus the S&P is not enough to say it's decoupled. Okay? Membies. Love it. All right. Our total market cap is looking great, though. Our next level of resistance for total market cap is like 2.85, maybe a little bit higher, maybe 2.86 trillion. So let's see if we can get this weekly candle to close above that. Now, if we can, well, maybe we can kiss our 70K levels goodbye. And maybe this was the big dip. Maybe it was the big dip. It could be, guys. The higher we go and the more we turn these levels of resistance into support, the more bullish I could be. I'd love to be back at 100K. I'd love to see this crypto market exploding again. But we still have a lot of resolve with the Fed, with the president's battle against the Fed, with tariffs and ongoing negotiations with countries across the globe. Let's get into some of the news stories for the day. Again, tap that like button on your way in, guys. Hope you're doing well. We're kind of at a level where I wouldn't be opening longs or shorts right now. I'd be waiting to see if we retest down to 88K. I'd be looking to see if we could, if we're going to face resistance at that total market cap high that I just looked at with you guys. So those are some things that I'm peeking at. April is up. We are seeing a 7% gain in April. We have seen a lot of 30% gains in April. The average price gain in April is 12%. We've seen a couple red Aprils. That was a bear market, though, so that can't really count. But in a bull market, you know, you do see April generally being pretty good, usually towards the end of the month after taxes. And taxes are now out of the way. We're almost through April. We might end green. That would be beautiful. David Betts says, I'm on the side of the fence that goes up and, well, I'm on the side of the fence that what goes up hard comes back just as hard. Yeah, me too, kind of, for now, David, but not when we get to the parabolic run. I just don't know if this is that parabolic run yet because of a couple things that I want to share with you guys. All right. But everybody's talking about it. Bitcoin runs into resistance, cluster above 88K, 88.5. This is what we've been talking about. I was not the only one talking about this. This was real. The 200-day simple moving average was at 88,356, which explains this resistance that we saw. But then we saw this story come out. Bitcoin retakes $90,000 as investors see it as an alternative to the diving dollar and turbulent stocks. The DXY came down significantly the other day. How's it going, Papa? What's going on? Just got done moving and got his Wi-Fi installed yesterday. Good, man. Appreciate that you're ready. You're back in action. Scossum with the $5 super chat. What a legend. So I'm really thinking XRP will surpass Ethereum in market cap. I used to hate XRP, and now I'm honestly very bullish on it. Look, Scossum, I'm right there with you. I agree. I agree with everything you just said, sir. I really do. Thanks for the super chat. And I agree with you. Bitcoin retakes $90,000 because when the dollar goes down, like the value of the dollar on the globe stage goes down, it's bullish for crypto. What's crazy is stocks have been stuck and coming down, and Bitcoin's been going up, and people are calling it the decoupling. But I think it's too early to say that it's truly decoupling. The cryptocurrency was highly vulnerable to stocks, tariff, fuel volatility earlier this month, but it has been decoupling from risk assets in the past week or so, which is good to see, but it is just 1 week time. So let's see what happens. One of two things could be true. And I don't think that like it's decoupled and it's official. Bitcoin's going to go up and the stocks are going to go down. I don't think that that's official. But one of two things I think are true. Either the traditional market is going to catch up to crypto and get a pump, or Bitcoin is going to come back to earth and go back down with the traditional market kind of to where that is. Marty says decoupling is a myth, and I don't agree with that, Marty. I don't agree with that. I understand why you say that. And to this much degree, I do agree for the short term, but in the long term, that's the goal. Okay? Now, they're always going to have some overlap and be going up at the same time and going down at the same time in moments, but generally, I think that you are going to see Bitcoin decouple in the long run. Both the stock market and Bitcoin are going to keep going up. So it's not like Bitcoin's going to go up and the S&P market's going to die, right? But it is like Bitcoin's going to keep outperforming the traditional market. And in times of uncertainty, there's worlds where Bitcoin can pump, the stocks can come down more regularly. Maybe we're getting closer to that time. I think we will see it in our lifetime, personally. And that's okay that we disagree. And, Scawson with another $2 super chat. Appreciate that. The market is maturing and it's beautiful to watch. The market is maturing and it is very beautiful to watch. It's very, very beautiful to watch. Bitcoin's getting similar moves to gold. Bitcoin digital gold. We've talked about this, which does kind of do different things than the traditional stock market at these moments of uncertainty. But the big reason that we are coming up today, undoubtedly, is this. Paul Atkins sworn in as the SEC chairman. This happened yesterday evening. This was a big story. This is Paul. Look at this guy, the face of your crypto pump today, people. Look at the shine in those eyes. Look at the shine in those eyes. That's the reason that I buzzed my head, because I couldn't dig with that. That's why I buzzed my head. That's why I shaved it, because I had that going on, kind of. But no, this guy is a pro crypto folk. This is why we're getting a big pump today. This is awesome to see. If you look at some of the stories going on right now, you'll see that, hey, S&P up 2% today. Big move for the S&P today. Really, the main reason for the market's pumping today is because they did kind of an unnecessary extra sell-off on the comments by the president over Fed Chair Powell, major loser, and the S&P dumped 3%. Buying opportunity. What changes fundamentally about stocks when the president calls somebody a nickname? Nothing. He calls everybody nicknames. He's got names for everybody and everything, and now he's got one for Fed Chair Jerome Powell because he wants him to lower the interest rate. Is he actually going to fire him? I would be really surprised if he fired him. But I want to highlight this little story right here. Stock market volatility offers two important lessons for investors. The stock market's dramatic highs and lows are a call to action for professionals and a reason for everyone else to sit tight. If you are just an average person and you're just in the S&P 500, you just sit tight and hold. And if you see dips on the news story of the president calls the Fed Chair Jerome Powell a major loser, you could buy those dips, okay? You could buy those dips. There is high volatility on every little bit of news, even in the traditional market, because we're so news oriented these days. But the people that are patient and the people that are calm, cool, and collected, those are the people that are going to make it in the end and realize that the S&P 500 is going to continue to go up over time. And those are the people that realize that Bitcoin is a beautiful, beautiful asset that is likened to gold. How's it going around town? How's it going, Andre? Andre says we're going to 100K. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. The IMF is coming out and saying a lot of negative things about the global economy because of tariffs. And I think this is the whole idea behind tariffs. Let's get a lot of pain out there to bring people to the negotiation table to hopefully make things better in the long run. Will we actually be able to pull it off? Will the president be able to pull it off? Who knows? There's some people, for some reason, hoping that he fails. And that wouldn't be good for anybody if he fails. You never want a president to fail. And there's some people rooting for him to succeed. I'm always rooting for every president to succeed, even if I don't like a president, or if I do. But I'm not going to come out here and have some kind of unrealistic bias, take on one president or the other, whether I like them or I don't. I like the idea of tariffs. Do I like the effects of tariffs? Do I know that the plan is going to work? No, I hope it does. But in the meantime, you got the IMF spreading fear. You've got the Fed Chair Jerome Powell spreading fear. And then you have the president doing a bunch of name calling and giving some relief to companies like Apple. And now other companies are kind of looking for some relief, like the president was able to give to Apple. S&P still coming up, now almost up 3% today, getting big moves to the upside. What a beautiful thing. Part of the reason for these moves to the upside is spot Bitcoin ETFs attract another $381 million in inflows. This is part of the reason that people are saying, well, there is a rotation of capital into Bitcoin. Big money is buying these spot Bitcoin ETFs because they recognize there's a discount. And there's no doubt that people will continue to buy these discounts, guys. Another super chat from Scossum. Thank you again, Scossum, for all those super chats. What a legend out there today. Saying, I see these tariffs like ripping off a Band-Aid. Things get worse quick and much better in the long run. Well, I hope so, Scossum. Again, I love the promise of that. Let's see if we get that promise delivered on. But it is undeniable that Bitcoin is strong, regardless if it's truly decoupling or not. It is showing strength. We have been holding up tremendously well. This big dip that we had for Bitcoin from the highs, folks. This big dip, and when you look at the daily time frame, actually, this looks really great. It makes you want to flip bullish. There's no doubt about it. I'll tell you. This move from 84 to this 88K level is a breakout on that timeline, or on that trend line right there. Still going to have major resistance at 92. This is where 92. That's kind of where we got knocked down a bunch. Okay. Major resistance coming up there. All right. But what I want to tell you guys is this move for Bitcoin, as scary as it was, 32%, that's just an average, regular, typical move in the middle of a bull market for Bitcoin. I've been bearish talking about potential 71 or 65 only because there's a little extra bearishness due to the tariffs, right? But regardless, ETF inflows are coming up today, picking up today. I think a lot of people are buying Bitcoin on these dips. People recognize opportunities in these dips more so than ever before. There's a lot more education for folks out there these days. Around town, what a comment over there. Look at that bullish double bottom formation. Yeah, a little bit. I'd really love to see us. I could start to flip bullish truly for the short term. If we see Bitcoin come above this level, have a bullish retest and move higher. What I am looking out for right now, though, is a bullish retest off this before moving to this 92K resistance. But at this point in time, I would say no reason why we can't go up to, 92.4 and check that resistance out, have a stab at it. But I'm still looking out for some of these lower levels because, again, we got some tariffs in the works. Ancient Krotoshi says, are we at a bottom or are we about to drop again? I think that we are at, some kind of resistance here, maybe at 91.5 potentially. Not a tremendous amount of resistance right there. This wick, I guess, but kind of no man's land for a trade right now. I'd be looking for a bullish retest off 88. And if we lose that, then we could be coming back down to 83 again. And then I'd be looking for potential long on a quick bounce off 83. If we come back down to 83, then I'd be suspicious we're coming back down to these levels I've been talking about for so long. But there's no guarantee that these levels happen. But there were very specific reasons why I've been talking about them, mainly because our previous all-time highs right there. Okay? Right there. Our weekly candle close at our previous all-time highs right there at 65. Let's see. Blake Schultz says, Bitcoin short? Yeah, possibly a time for a short right now. I don't love it. I wish we were up at this 92 level. We got up to like 91.5. Papa says, hit like and sub and become a member right now. Yeah, if you guys want to, you can become a member on the channel, get access to our private Discord. But definitely subscribe and hit the like because those are 2 free things to do. And they tremendously help the channel. And I appreciate each and every single one of you guys that supports us with those likes and those subscribing taps. Tap language. 3% of Bitcoin is now in supply. Try again. 3% of Bitcoin supply is in control of firms with Bitcoin on balance sheets. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I think it's a good thing because we are seeing mainstream adoption. We are seeing more institutions adopt crypto. If you go back, we got a gifted membership from Scossum. Congratulations to who? Ancient Krotoshi with a gifted membership. Shout out to you. And Cleary's Beef. I know that guy. Congratulations, guys. Scossum's a legend today. Just dishing out dollars to everybody. See, look at this community. We're growing. We're getting out. The prices go up and we get a lot more excitement going on in the chat. It's beautiful. Appreciate you, Scossum. Thank you very much for sending some love. And another to Matt Crafter. I know that guy too. Eric says shooting star on the 1 hour now price go down to 88K. He says 100%. I could see it happening. Yeah, I'm looking back to 88K too. I'm looking back to 88K too, personally. So we'll see how that goes. But congrats to all you guys that just got your members. But this is huge, guys, because this is what we've been talking about for so long on this channel is eventually Bitcoin's going to go mainstream. Eventually all the major companies, all the major countries are going to be buying in. We're just seeing the proof. The proof is here. It's going to continue to happen. Now, we've seen Microsoft and McDonald's propose buying Bitcoin on the balance sheets, and they're not going to do it yet. But one day I would just make a prediction and say that they will. I would just make a prediction and say that they will at some point. So I'm going to keep an eye out for it. We'll keep reporting on all the latest news, but crazy how much Bitcoin is now owned by major companies and 3% of Bitcoin supply and control of firms with BTC on the balance sheet. Thinking about that, that's really only happened in the last 4 or 5 years. What happens in 4 or 5 years from now? Are we going to be at 6%? Are we going to be at 10%? Are we at 15%? Well, I think that it's going to probably snowball. And I think in the next 5 years, it could be over 10% of the Bitcoin supply is controlled by firms with Bitcoin on the balance sheet and countries. And then we're talking about a much bigger percentage of Bitcoin, and not just in people that are doing, trading with it and buying and selling. You're talking about holding it as gold, right? As the future gold. And if Bitcoin does achieve the previous market cap of gold, you're looking at a very, very high price, $1 million Bitcoin. I do want to show you guys this, though, this bit of news that leads me to continue to talk about, maybe not holding 90K this week. This is the reason that Trump is calling Fed Chair Powell major loser. July 25th, No, July 30th of 2025. There is now a whopping 3.2% chance that over the next 1, 2, 3 FOMC meetings, we are still going to be at the current rate that we're at for the federal interest rate. In June, there's now a 30% chance that we're still going to be at this rate. Now, we were looking at a 70+% chance of getting a 0.25% cut. And actually, we were looking at like a higher chance of getting a 0.5 point cut just a few weeks ago. It's slowly kind of been bleeding. The scenario has been getting kind of worse and worse for the Fed rate cut because of the comments of Fed Chair Jerome Powell, because of the actions of President Trump with the tariffs. May, we're certainly not getting a rate cut. June, we're maybe going to get a rate cut, but our odds are shifting in the wrong direction. And now July, just the other day, we had a 0% chance. Well, 0% chance clearly wasn't accurate because now it's 3.8% chance. And if the language by Fed Chair Powell just keeps coming in and the data keeps getting worse for the ability for the Fed to cut rates, then we might see these odds continue to go up. It's going to be interesting to see. I don't think that the Fed is going to get fired by the president. If he did fire Fed Chair Powell, we probably get a big dip in everything. Even Bitcoin probably, if I had to guess. If you guys want to trade the volatility, you can sign up for Blowfin. Check it out if you haven't done so already. Up to a $5,000 deposit bonus when you sign up using our link. And then there was this story. Trump media officially finalizes partnership with crypto.com to launch ETFs. This is coming. This is coming. ETFs are coming for Cronos. I got a video coming later today on that, so you're going to want to check it out. All right, what is going on in the comment section? Smash a like, boys and girls, says Daryl Young in the chat. JP Fitz says, Trump is trash. A lot of people think that, and a lot of people don't, which is why this is such a weird time for these markets. Because this man is making news every day. Some people hate it. Some people love it. Look, it's causing uncertainty. And that has been the main reason that I have been bearish in the short term. In the long term, I do think that it's a good thing for crypto that there's a pro-crypto president, pro-crypto Senate, pro-crypto SEC head, all these things. But we are still in the forest of tariffs. And typically these little partnerships, big partnerships, whatever you want to call it, do kind of result in a little bit of a pump and then a little bit of a dump. We've seen it time and time again. So, JP, I don't mind the profit taking idea, right? And same thing here, you know, if you had the courage to be longing Bitcoin through this resistance, which I certainly wouldn't have, and you're in the profit right now, not a bad take profit zone for your long. Nothing goes up forever. Okay. Bitcoin certainly shouldn't be going up forever right now. We've still got a lot of uncertainty. Okay. Little Paw says, hey, kid, why no vids on Stacks? I did plenty of videos on Stacks. Not a lot of videos on Stacks because Nakamoto's live and the price has just been dumping because altcoin season's not here. Still bullish on Stacks. Still believe in a Bitcoin DeFi ecosystem on Stacks. I still believe all that. I just, frankly, it doesn't get a lot of views. I've already made my case for Stacks. You know that I'm bullish on it. And there's not a lot of news with it. I've been very focused on Bitcoin. I've been very focused on some of the major cryptos that are in the top 20. Because I know that there's a lot of folks out there that are wondering, you know, what's going on with these. And I don't mind a strategy of like just picking some of the bigger coins out there just to kind of pick a little bit of a safer play, but you do miss out on some of the potential awesome upside on coins like Stacks and things like this if you're not looking in the top 100, a little bit lower. Tomorrow, Togelon Mars has a birthday. Like the coin? Does that mean it's going to pump? I don't know. I don't understand. What I do, V Dizzle? What did I do? XRP's looking good. Holding above $2 pretty well right now. I've been talking about the potential for XRP to fall below $2 if our weekly candle for total market cap had fallen below this range. Well, it didn't, and we're boosting up. Now we're looking to our next level of potential resistance at 2.84. If we can blast through that, guys, maybe we are going to continue to come up here. I'd love to see it. Scott asking, Kip, did you guys talk about Paul Atkins being sworn in by Donald Trump yet? Yes, I did. It's good. It's great. It's here. It's real. It's the reason for our pump. Historically, we've seen pumps up on news like this, and then a little bit of come back to earth moments shortly thereafter. Angel Crypto, she says, I'll bulk purchase more Crow when it drops below my initial investment of 3 cents. 3 cents is not a bad buy price for Crow at all. Absolutely. Beautiful price. I don't know if it is going to drop below 3 cents again. That would be crazy if it did. Scott asking, do you think the Ripple case and ETFs will be soon? I think that, yeah. I mean, I think that it's coming in 2025, and I think that the Ripple case is probably going to end soon. Soon for the 4,000th time. Now that Paul Atkins is in office, I think that, yeah, they could find some resolve actually soon this time, hopefully. I just can't believe how many times we've seen that lawsuit end. You know what I mean? Little Paw says, I think some people are just beyond exhausted from this whole space. I know I am. Good night. Hey, good night, Little Paws. And hey, you're absolutely right. I'm exhausted from this whole space. Facts. I'm exhausted from this whole space too. It's exhausting. It's hard. It is tough. But the diamond hands, especially for Bitcoin in the long run, win. And if you buy the altcoins low and you get that parabolic bull market that we've all been anticipating, you get a chance to sell them high. You've had some opportunities to sell some altcoins high. We've had a lot of opportunities to profit. And lately it's been tough. But never so tough that I actually want to walk away. Sometimes I want to walk away, right? But I don't actually, because I know how this game goes. I know how this damn game goes. Behind You has a great point saying this exhaustion is why we're going to new all-time highs. That is exactly how it works. You have to get to a point of exhaustion for retail. We need kind of the leverage to get cleaned up, and then the buyers come back, and then we get the leg up, and then bubble pops, bear market. Let's do it all over again in accumulation phase. It's just how it goes. Daryl, what are we doing? Demon says, Powell can't get fired by the orange dude. The department is not part of the government. Well, that's true. But if he gets, I think, Congress and Senate to agree, he could. Is he going to get the Congress and the Senate to agree? I don't think so. I want to know what I did to upset V Dizzle in the chat. Who said bullish on AVAX out there? Papa's bullish on AVAX. Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. Look at Bitcoin dominance just up roaring at the top of its range. Could be going to 72, 73%. Once we get up there, we can really start talking about altcoin season. I know I have it in the title. I have it in the title because I believe it's possible, but we're going to need to see Bitcoin make its final move to the upside. Demon says, I'm surprised Mystery Mary is not pumping. I'm not surprised. I was surprised it didn't pump more on the exchange listing, but it is certainly not the time to be paying attention to a mystery Mary token during global tariffs and things like that. It's time to be paying attention to Bitcoin. Daryl says that Ben Cowan must be laughing his way to the Bitcoin Dominance Bank. You know he is. You know he is. I mean, he's just been on fire with that. And just rubbing it in people's faces on X, and it's been hilarious to watch. Though I have been taking a big step back from just social media and my phone, and honestly, I'm approaching the happiest time of my life right now. Even with these markets down right now, it's so healthy to take a step back. And I'm not, I'm still in crypto, still paying attention to these markets, but to get out of the every minute to minute thing, it's good for you. If you're feeling like you're checking your charts every minute, you gotta take a step back and reassess yourself, I think. Ancient Crotoshi says, throughout these 5 years, I have invested in 4 meme coins that never went back up, and I'm still holding them. Some of them even got delisted, sadly. That's the trouble with memes. That's why Bitcoin is king. No doubt about it. Yeah, I think that we could see Bitcoin dominance back up to 70-something%. I do agree with that. Anyway, guys, that's the news for the day. Thanks for tuning in. That's all I got for you. I got a Crow video coming out later today to talk about this Trump partnership with them. Glad to hear that, Daryl. That's all I got, guys. Shout out to you. Shout out to Scossum. Thanks for all your super chats, Scossum. Congratulations to our gifted members on this channel. Make sure you get into that private Discord. If you want to become a member for yourself, you can sign up for our to become a member on our channel in the description down below, and on our main page of our YouTube channel. You get access to our private Discord. If you want to do some trading, you can sign up for Blowfin. Got an affiliate link for you in the comments in the chat. Up to a $5,000 deposit bonus when you sign up. Until next time, I'm Crypto Kip. This is the Crypto Report. Stay classy, everybody. Peace.